Hey there, I have another Christmas crafty idea to share with you today. I'm Summer with hammondsnest.com, and in today's video, I'm making a really cute little rag tree on a kind of a miniature scale, and I'm using a miniature terracotta pot from Dollar Tree. They're actually like 3 for $1.25, and then I'm using an 8-inch long cinnamon stick that I had. You can use anything for the cinnamon stick in replace of it. I just had that on hand. You could use a wooden dowel or some kind of stick or anything. But I decided to give like a rustic white makeover to that little pot and is going to set it aside to dry. But I used the ivory chalk paint by Waverly mixed with a little bit of baking soda, and that gave me some really pretty texture. Now I've got these two beautiful fabrics, a light green sage striped one and the dark green plaid one. I got these both at Hobby Lobby. I just ripped some strips and we're going to start cutting pieces of fabric that we're going to tie onto this cinnamon stick. Now, if you're wondering what the blue painter's tape was for, that was just to mark where it was going to go down into my pot. So I don't need any fabric in that area. So that was just to help me create a marker. But I cut my fabric strips for most of this cinnamon stick tree about 6 or 7 inches, and as I got up a little bit higher, about 2/3 of the way, I cut them a little bit shorter, maybe an inch. But you will end up having to trim this tree into a triangle Christmas tree shape, so you will have a little bit of fabric waste, but it's easier if you don't make it too hard for you to, loop it around and tie it. But you see how pretty it looks all filled up, and when you get to the very top there and you got your last piece, this is where you can kind of look at it and you can start trimming it up and decide how you want to look. Now this is me. I left it kind of flat for this purpose to be able to trim it up and know that I have my triangle shape down. But you can also move around the fabric and make it more like a 3D tree and kind of do it more of like in a spiral, I guess you would say, where the fabric's kind of going every which way back and forth. And so that'll just give you a little bit of a different look, but you could try it both ways. I think it's cute either way. Now we're going to attach our little cinnamon stick tree into our little terracotta pot. I've got some floral foam here that I just kind of cut down with a putty knife to fit down in there, and I'm hot gluing that in place. And then we'll just take that cinnamon stick and place it right there in the center. And now we'll just start adding some really fun embellishments. I can't wait for you to see all the little details that really make this tree. It's so cute as is if you want to leave it plain, but here's just some fun ideas for you to dress it up for Christmas. So the first thing I did, you saw me glue Spanish moss over the floral foam. Now I have these little wooden stars I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I wasn't crazy about the gold sheen on them, so I used some Rub and Buff antique gold to give it a little bit of a dull, more antique-y kind of gold look. So I brushed that on, or you could use your finger to rub that on too. Rub and Buff is amazing if you haven't tried it. I'm taking what's left over on my plate and I'm kind of bringing that color into the pot. Next, I have these little mini bells. I believe these were in a package from Dollar Tree, and I'm giving them like a chalk paint in a red color. I kind of want them to resemble berries in a sense. While those are drying, I've got this Christmas ribbon that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and I wanted some words on this project because I thought it would be cute and festive. And instead of just using that like ribbon, I decided to cut the words Merry and Christmas and glue them to the top of the tree here. Now I'm going to just like start adding in those final little details. I put some Spanish moss at the top there. This is my favorite embellishment by far. I cut a little 4-inch piece of wired ribbon jute, and I picked this up at Hobby Lobby. I chose it because it's thicker and it held its shape because I wanted to make a mini candy cane. Oh my goodness. So I took some of my red ticking stripe fabric, and I just started hot gluing and wrapping it around. And that gives you this custom little mini candy cane, which we're going to use at the bottom of the tree here. And it'll just tie in that red from the Merry Christmas up top and kind of let all the colors balance. Always like kind of looking at something and making sure we're playing with all the colors. Okay, now I'm going to start gluing on my little red bells. When they're dry, I put one up there at the top by the Merry Christmas words, and I put a couple in the bottom of the pot around the candy cane. Just using some hot glue to kind of secure where that's going to stick. Now for the next step, I kind of had to devise something custom because I wanted this tree to look cute from both sides. So I wanted my star double. That's why I did 2 stars gold. So I took some floral wire and just glued it and sandwiched it in between the 2 gold stars. And I bent that and then just hot glued that. And it actually went right down into the cinnamon stick hole. So it was perfect. Lastly, I'm going to take some of that same baking soda, and ivory chalk paint, and I'm just going to kind of brush along the edges of this gold star to give it a little bit more interest. And I think with that final touch, we will be finished. I think this one is, of course, adorable on a miniature version, but these rag trees are really fun to make bigger and with different kinds of fabric. You could really have fun with this and make it your own style. I feel like this one has a little bit of a country Christmas look, but I think it's super festive, gives me all the Christmas feels. I can't wait to see your takes on this one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.